Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem sung by Academy student Johanna Momini.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Johanna. You may be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce Mark Haig, Superintendent of the Lenawee Intermediate School District, to deliver our welcome.
Good evening. Good evening. On behalf of the Lenawee Intermediate School District, our Board of Education, and staff, we'd like to welcome you to the 2017 graduation ceremony for the JC LISD Academy. We're extremely proud of the accomplishments of these students. They have put together a great deal of work in their time with us, dedication, and a lot of extra hours, I know for a fact, in some cases, towards reaching this unique accomplishment. I also think it's appropriate for some special thanks and recognition to the parents here in the room, as this is our largest graduating class, and upon this group entering the program, they did take a bit of a risk. There were a lot of unknowns for many in the beginning, and they have truly blazed a trail for classes to follow and set an extremely high standard for the JC LISD Academy. So let me be one of the first to officially say congratulations to you, and I wish you nothing but continued success, and I stress the continued.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kim Dusso. I'm the principal here at the JC LISD Academy. Thank you, Mr. Haig, for your words to our graduates, and thank you to all of you for coming out this evening. I want to thank you for your support that you've shown our graduates, for the love that you've shown our graduates. As many of you know, I only took on this role as principal of the Academy at the beginning of the school year, and during this short period of time, I've learned a lot about these students sitting up here on this stage. I've got to know some of them better than others, but I've got to know each of them a little bit during this very short year that I've been here. I've also thought a lot about these graduates over the last couple of weeks as we've accepted applications for a whole new group of students who are coming in here. I've thought a lot about the characteristics that this group of students has and the qualities that they have that have made them be so successful here at the Academy. And I've even read some of your applications that you submitted, so many years ago when you decided to come to the Academy. So it has been my pleasure, my great pleasure and my honor to get to know these students. I wish that I had been here all those years ago when you stood at that fork in the road and made that decision to come here to the Academy, but I could not be more proud of each of you for taking that road less traveled. Congratulations to each of you.
Thank you, Kim. I would now like to personally welcome our first graduate speaker to the podium, Nathan Andrews.
Alrighty. Well, as you guys have heard, my name's Nathan Andrews. All right, I'll get started and just make it quick because I know it gets really hot in here. All right, class of 2017, we've finally made it. The long road has come to an end and has begun to reveal the bright futures ahead of all of us. Here we are receiving our high school diplomas and marking an intersection that bridges into a new chapter. Though it is time to start this new chapter, there are many choices we can make. Whether that choice is being a nurse, a vet, or going into any other career, you all have made the first step in making that decision. This is the pinnacle of our 13 or 14 years of our primary education. We're all in the cap and gown, and by the end of the night, we will all be high school graduates. But this event did not come to be completely because of the choices of only the people on this stage. Parents, family members, brothers, sisters, cousins, grandparents, aunts, uncles. You all have an effect on myself and my fellow graduates. What you do matters. It shapes who we are. Without all of you, we would not be the same people and would likely have taken a very different course of action. Without you to continue to push us further, expand our limits, and sometimes force us out of our comfort zone, we would be extravagantly different than we are today. Not only does family play a role in shaping us, but an essential component of who we are comes from our friends. On a long-term basis, the friends that we keep for a long time play a profound effect in who we are. It's said that we're most like the 5 friends that we spend the most time with. I've seen this to be true not only in myself, but in others. Friends, especially if they go to the same school as you, or take the same classes, which is very nice, because then you can ask for help. They can be there when you need to talk, and most of the time they know exactly what you mean. They're there in times of frustration, times of sadness, and any time we need them, really. It's impossible to go through life and not make a single friend, as we basically thrive off of friendships. They build us up, and though not all of them necessarily work out the way we want them to, they change us in a small way no matter what. And that change progresses into a very large change over time and helps us develop into who we are. We adapt. For all that friends do to us, or do for all of us, and also for family, can we just give everybody a round of applause and thank them for what they do? During school, our teachers are there when we need them to be. Though for many of the years we've been here, we've had college professors, we can still rely on the academy teachers to help us whenever we need them. They have served as our advisors throughout our time here, checking in, seeing what we're up to, sometimes forcing us to do things. But the point is, if we have needed help, they've always been there for us. Personally, I've had Mrs. Smith as my advisor, and I've had Mrs. Ewing multiple times as my high school teacher for world history and U.S. history. They've helped me whenever I needed it and have worked well with me throughout the years. I know if I had taken classes with the other teachers, Mrs. Morrison and Mrs. Buckley, who I do want to say congrats to because she just had a baby, that they would also be here for me. There's also been a few other people here in the academy that have made it what it is today. One of those people, Mrs. Ritchie, has the gift of getting to schedule all of us for classes. And she also helps with the tech center stuff, so she has a really fun job. Since she's came here, she's made advising more efficient and more worthwhile. Mrs. Case runs everything behind the scenes. She makes sure that meetings are scheduled. She makes sure the books are ordered, makes sure everything is done for us. Everything's taken care of because of what she does. If there's an issue, she basically handles it for us if we need her to. And sometimes we can handle them ourselves, or we can go to her and we can figure out a way to handle them. Lastly, as Mrs. Dusso said, she just came here recently and took the challenge of becoming principal of the school. That requires a lot out of a person because it's not a regular high school. It continually challenges the principal on how the school can be improved. Like she said, she takes a lot of the applications now and looks over them, and she chooses who the next class is going to be. I just really quick want to say that I'm proud of my brother for interviewing for the college. Everything that they do is key to the success of the academy, so can we give them and teachers a round of applause? Now, I have a question for you guys. What is the overall goal in life? Some would say it's to make a lot of money, but though it might seem like that's correct, it's really not. Because money is a simple object that's temporary, and you spend it and it's gone. Rather, dreams on the opposing side cannot just be temporarily there, and they stick with us for long periods of time. The overall goal, in my opinion, is to follow your dream. Allow it to guide you through life. Be who you are meant to be. Our purpose is dictated by the dreams we follow, and we are defined by who we become whilst in the pursuit of happiness through those dreams. Some of you may dream to become a nurse, as I said. Make sure you follow it and continue to pursue it your whole life. I can promise you in the end, if you continue to pursue that dream and work for it, you will be successful no matter what. Dreams can be a foundation of a bucket list of things that you may want to do in life. I, for example, at the agitation of my parents, have always wanted to skydive. It's just seemed like the most interesting thing to me. And I have a tendency to like dangerous things, which is why I actually want to go into toxicology, which is fun because I get to study venom. But I'm following my dreams. All of these students sitting in front of you, well, graduates now, are beginning their own pursuit of happiness. They're beginning their bucket list, and they're chasing their dreams. They're going to achieve this dream because they're all incredible people. They've all climbed mountains in order to get where they are today, and I know that they will do whatever is necessary to get to their end point in the chase. Through our dreams, we find a purpose, and it's with that purpose that we can further pursue our dreams. In doing so, we create a life for ourselves, figuring out what we want to do. Maybe you want to travel or possibly solve a major world problem. There's plenty of things out there to do. It's simply finding your clique that matters. No person clicks in the same way, and even two people that go into the same career will click differently, as they're more interested in different portions of that career. In finding our clique, we find a piece of our life, and we can use that to begin unlocking all of the other little pieces of our life, thus creating a life in the way that we were meant to be. So here it is, the fork in the road. We have to choose which way we go, yet it's not a four-way stop. It's more like a roundabout, where we're in the center of the roundabout and we're now graduating, and there's roads all around us, and we have to choose which way we want to go. So at first it seems like there's just too many choices. But when it comes down to it, there's really not. As soon as you begin to pursue what you've always wanted to do, many of the roads disappear, because that's pursuing your dreams, so it's going to eliminate many of the roads. Once you know your dream, you can find your clique, and that'll continue to cut down the number of roads to choose from yet more. The process will continue to narrow itself down until there's only one road left. And the best part about it is that road is your purpose. The name of the road's the purpose that you have in life. And that's the point in life. It's to find our purpose and pursue our dreams. So all I have to say to you guys is just be you. That's what really matters. Don't be someone else. Just be who you were meant to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Now I'd like to welcome our second graduate speaker to the podium, Zachary Whitty.
Good evening. My name is Zachary Whitty. I'd like to welcome the students, family, and staff here tonight in celebration of this milestone in the lives of my fellow graduates. I'd like to start by thanking all the people who believe in us. our teachers, our family, and our friends. These people have had just as big a part in our successes as we have, helping us to prepare for the future, urging us to try our hardest, and helping us find our way when we're lost. I want to remind you that success isn't chasing someone else's dreams, it's chasing yours. Be careful of letting other people set your expectations. Being prepared is critical for success. I'm not just referring to looking years down the road. Buy your textbooks before the first week of class. Bring a pencil, and always pay your bills on time. The world will not stop to let you catch up if you're not ready. I'll bet you're tired of hearing this, but you've probably heard it so much because it's good advice. Every journey has a first step. You just have to be ready to take it. Getting prepared is only half the battle. You have to stick with it, too. We're all here because we want to be here. We were looking for an opportunity to apply ourselves, and that's why we applied to the Academy. Looking back, we probably all felt lost at one point, but we persevered. This is what it takes to succeed. Do what needs to be done, even if you don't feel like doing it. As author John Maxwell said, dreams don't work unless you do. Hard work is what gets you to your goals. With our unique opportunities here at the Academy, we all know what it takes to be self-motivated. Sometimes it may take more than self-motivation to get you moving. Make encouraging friends and surround yourself with people who support you in your ambitions and help push your friends to do their best. Lastly, don't be afraid to ask for help. I guarantee you will all feel stuck at some point in your lives. Just remember, no matter how small your graduating class is, you're not alone. Wherever your dreams take you, you will find people in similar situations. People will expect you to ask questions when you're lost. Speak up. If you don't know who to ask someone to point you in the right direction. I'd like to continue with a reminder to continue serving others. We all have volunteer experience from our time here at the Academy. Now it's time to go out and serve others, not because we're getting credit for it, but because it's the right thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you, graduates. Now, allow me to introduce our guest speaker for this evening. Mayor Jim Berryman first served as mayor of Adrian from 1985 to 1990. He was elected to the Michigan Senate in 1990, where he served 2 four-year terms. He worked for the Michigan Education Association from 2000 to 2013. Mayor Berryman was elected mayor of Adrian again in 2013 and re-elected in 2015. Berryman has been married to his wife, Susan, for 47 years. He has 3 children, Stephen, Eric, and Julie, and 6 grandchildren. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Berryman, Jim Berryman, to the stage.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here. Can you all hear me? Yes. Said no? Who said no? You registered to vote? Zachary, I loved your comments, and that's what I wanted to work off of, is that I know the Academy is very concerned with and very active in volunteerism and having an opportunity to make a difference in our community. And that's what I wanted to, as Mr. Prey kept telling me in my ear, make it short, Berryman, make it short. But how do you say something? You know, I know most graduation speeches, you never remember what the speaker ever said. And I hope maybe that I give you a couple things that you might not remember me, but you hopefully will remember something of significance that I said tonight. It's volunteerism. And there isn't anything in my mind that's better than talking about volunteerism than a personal experience that I had. And I really have to give my daughter, Julie, I really give her the credit. It was a time in the Michigan Senate that was right at Christmas time, and we had spent 48 hours straight in session. Mr. Prey will remember that's when I think Proposal A was passed. And 48 hours straight. Could not go home. Laid on tables in the back room, but it was getting tiresome. Didn't get home until Christmas Eve, probably about 7:30 at night. And the next morning, got up, had Christmas with the kids, and my daughter Julie said, "Okay, Dad, let's go." And I said, "Go where?" And she said, "Well, you had promised Big Boy that we would go down and volunteer to help serve breakfast in Christmas meals." And the owners of Big Boy, I think it was the Shields family at that time, owned Big Boy, and they opened up their restaurant to serve Christmas meals for anybody that needed it or wanted it or just needed the companionship of someone. And it was a great effort on their part. And I am being very honest with you. I said, "Julie, I had 3 hours sleep." I said, "I really am tired." She said, "Dad, you made a commitment that we would go. Let's go." And I said, "All right." So we went down to Big Boy, and they had so many volunteers, and that's this community. This community in Lenawee County comes together. And they had so many volunteers, they said, "Well, you know, we have some meals to deliver because these individuals couldn't come down to the store. Do you mind delivering them?" So we said no. So we took a few. In this one house that we went to, little square house, knocked on the door, and a woman answered, and we told her, introduced ourselves, and told her where we were from. And she said, "I didn't really think that they would deliver a meal." So she said, "I've just been cooking our Christmas dinner, but you're welcome to come in." And we walked in, and it literally was a one-room house. One big square room, not exaggerating this a bit, a light in the middle hung down from a wire in the middle of the room, one bedroom, small, off to the side, and the stove was a hot plate. And she was cooking Christmas dinner, and what she was cooking was an onion that she had cut in half and was frying an onion. That's all that she had. And I said, "But would you mind if we take these out of the sacks and put it?" And she, "Oh, please do." And we took out. And again, I thanked the Shields. You know, there was everything you'd think of a Christmas dinner, of mashed potatoes and turkey and cranberries and you name it, it was there. And we took everything out, put it on the table. Her husband came out, and Julie and I started walking out of the door, and she said, "Mr. Berryman," she said, "would you mind coming back and standing with us and giving a prayer of thanks?" And so we did. And Julie and I walked out. This is years ago when I get emotional when I talk about it. But Julie and I walked out, both with tears in our eyes, and she looked at me and she said, "Dad," she said, "it's Christmas Day, and all she had to cook was an onion." And she said, "What do they do the rest of the year?" And I said, "That's a good question." And I tell you that story because in each of you, when you graduate, to volunteer, to donate your time, you can make a difference. It's not only an opportunity that's being given you. Volunteerism, I think, is also a responsibility. In this particular case, delivering that meal, did we make a difference in her life? Did we change her life? No, I'm sure the next day she still had difficulties. But we made a difference that day. That day was a better day. And you have to take comfort with that and solace with that you can make a difference, even if it's just one day. I envy you because you have so much ahead of you. You are going to be able to see things and be able to do things tomorrow that I can't even imagine. Now I'm really going to date myself, because I can remember when there was no bridge between the Lower Peninsula and the Upper Peninsula. I can remember when there were no two-lane roads between major cities. I remember taking an older brother down to U of M. We lived in Flint and was taking him to U of M. There was no expressway. There was just a two-lane road from Flint to Ann Arbor. And unfortunately, I can say I also remember our home with no television and one phone, and that was a party line. And you all wouldn't even know what a party line is, probably. But I do, and there may be some in the room that remember what a party line was. It was 4 or 5 homes that were connected to one line, and you knew it was for you because it was a certain number of rings. You knew that was for you. And you knew every time you talked on the phone that there was at least 1 or 2 other households that were listening in onto what was going on. I have seen so many changes in my everyday life. I can't imagine what you will see in your lifetime. I brought this phone for a reason, because I read, and it's a true statement, that there is more technology in your iPhone than was in the spacecraft that John Glenn flew around the Earth 3 times with. I'm sure you all have great ambitions. And ambitions is not just a common word. It is, again, it's a challenge. Webster's dictionary defines ambitions as, quote, a strong desire to do or to achieve something typically requiring determination and hard work. Your ability to grow and to achieve is only limited by your own ambitions. But my hope for you, my hope is that in your plan for growth, to achieve, that in that plan you will set time aside to volunteer. Volunteer to make a difference in the life of another individual. Volunteer to make a difference, even if that difference is for one day. I wish you all the best of luck. You are so fortunate to be able to have an academy such as this, to have the honor to graduate tonight. You've worked hard to get where you are. And I have to tell you, the city of Adrian and Lenawee County expect much from you. And as we should, you have a lot to offer. I wish you all the best as you go forward, and please remember of anything tonight. Not that I told you I knew that there was no bridge between the north and the south, but remember the one individual that we made a difference in her life that one day. That story has stuck with me for the past 27 years. Make stories like that for yourself. Volunteer. Make a difference in this community, in any and every community in which you would move around the country. Thank you very much. Congratulations, and to all the parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor Berryman. I appreciate your words to our graduates this evening. Okay, so now is the moment that you've all been waiting for. Superintendent Haig, LISD Board of Education, On behalf of the faculty and administration of the JC LISD Academy, a regional middle college, I certify that each candidate whose name shall hereafter be called has satisfactorily met and fulfilled the requirements that have been legislated by the Michigan Department of Education with the 11 local school districts. Superintendent Haig, if you would please join me in presenting the diplomas. Graduates, please rise. Each graduate will be receiving their high school diploma in addition to the Early Middle College Association Technical Certificate. Nathan Andrews. Nathan graduates with 63 college credits, an associate's in science, and plans to further his education at Nova Southeastern University and earn a double major in marine biology and chemistry and pursue a career in toxicology of marine species. Amaya Bailey. Amaya graduates with 67 college credits, an associate in science and a general transfer agreement, and plans to further her education at Eastern Michigan University and pursue a career in pre-med. Rebecca Burkhard. Rebecca graduates with 61 college credits, an associate's in art, and plans to further her education at Eastern Michigan University. Jessica Dashner. Jessica graduates with 44 college credits, a general transfer agreement, and plans to further her education at Eastern Michigan University and pursue a degree in secondary education as a high school history teacher. Emily Frankor. Emily graduates with 71 college credits, an associate in applied science in business administration, and plans to further her education through a hands-on approach and learning from those more experienced in business and marketing. Zachary Henry. Zachary graduates with 62 college credits, a culinary arts skill set, and plans to further his education at Jackson College. Bradley June. Bradley graduates with 52 college credits, an associate's in science and a general transfer agreement, and plans to further his education at the University of Toledo and pursue a career in mechanical engineering. Noah Lightfoot. Noah graduates with 60 college credits, an associate and general transfer agreement, and plans to further his education at Adrian College and pursue a career in biology. Serena Martindale. Serena graduates with 63 college credits, an associate in science and general transfer agreement, and plans to further her education at Siena Heights University and transfer to Michigan State for vet school. Mallory McLeod. Mallory graduates with 57 college credits and plans to further her education at Oakland University or Grand Valley State University and pursue a nursing major. Abigail McCullough. Abigail graduates with 63 college credits, an associate in science and general transfer agreement, and plans to further her education at Eastern Michigan University. Liam McDougall. Liam graduates with 68 college credits, a cybersecurity certificate, and plans to enter the United States Air Force and attend the Defense Language Institute. Cassidy Mullins. Cassidy graduates with 64 college credits, an associate in science and general transfer agreement, and plans to further her education at the University of Toledo and pursue a career in environmental studies, specifically in water quality. Faith Newman. Faith graduates with 57 college credits, an associate in science and general transfer agreement, and plans to further her education at Indiana Wesleyan University to study chemistry and microbiology and pursue a career in researching antibiotic resistance and pathogens. Randy Ramirez, Jr. Randy graduates with 60 college credits, an associate in science and general transfer agreement, and plans to further his education at Central Michigan University and pursue a career in nursing or exercise science. Lillian Skiba Thayer. Lillian graduates with 65 college credits, an associate in art and general transfer agreement, and plans to further her education at Central Michigan University and pursue a career in neuroscience. Zachary Whitty. Zachary graduates with 21 college credits and plans to further his education at the University of Michigan and pursue a career as a mechanical engineer. Sierra Jakobison. Sierra graduates with 63 college credits, an associate in science and general transfer agreement, and plans to further her education at the University of Denver and pursue a career in international relations. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct honor of presenting to you the JC LISD Academy, a regional middle college class of 2017. Graduates, you may move your tassel from right to left.